Hey, what's up everyone? This is Ryan Sales from CG Hacks, and in this video, we're going to talk about 3 quick and easy tips for using smart objects in Photoshop. Number 1, smart objects preserve the original resolution of the image. So let's say I want to resize my subject. I'm just going to go over to my subject layer, click on it, hit Control-T to resize, hold the Alt key down, and drag the corner to resize my image. And then hit OK. Now clearly he's way too small. And so let's say I want to resize him back to the original size. If I hit Control-T, hold the Alt key down, drag it back up, you can see that because the image was not a smart object, it didn't retain any of its original resolution. It's all pixelated, and we don't want that. So let's hit Control-Z to undo, and let's try this again. This time, I'm going to go over to my subject. I'm going to right-click, go over to Convert to Smart Object, and try the same thing again. So this time, when we resize our image, you can tell that we didn't lose any quality in the image because it retained the original resolution of that image. Tip number 2, smart objects allow you to add non-destructive effects to your layer. So let's take this bird that's here in the foreground, and let's say I want to add a little bit of depth to the image by adding a blur to this bird. I'm going to select the bird layer, I'm going to right click, convert to smart object, go up to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and let's say I want to add like a 15% blur, just enough to kind of give it a foreground blur, and then hit OK. You can now see over here in my layers that it has added a smart filters layer with this Gaussian blur that I can now toggle off and back on. If I think that I've blurred it too much, I can just go over to Gaussian blur, double click on it, and it will pull my Gaussian blur settings back up and say I want to blur it less. Maybe I want to blur it by only 10 pixels. Then I can change it and then hit OK, and it will apply the settings to the layer. It also adds a mask to this filter, so if I wanted to paint with a black brush some of these effects back out, then I could, or leave them in. And the third quick and easy tip is that smart objects easily allow you to edit and transform your image. So let's say I want to change the image that's on this white screen right here. I'm going to go back to this image over here. I'm just going to hold down Control-Shift-Alt-E together to stamp this image as a one brand new layer. Hold down Control-A to select all, Control-C to copy, and then I want to go over to this image, Control-V to paste. And now before I resize my image, I'm now going to right click, convert to smart object so that we can maintain the original resolution, Control-T to resize, and then start resizing this image to fit the computer screen. And what's great is I can actually hold the Control key down and drag these corners up to meet the corners of this screen and hit enter. And a real quick way just to make those edges blend would be to just double click on this layer and play with the blend if settings right here. And for the underlying layer on the black slider, I'm just going to slide this up just a little bit and perhaps hold the Alt key down to split this little slider in two to blend those edges. Now let's say I wanted to add some words to this image on the computer. What I would do is I would just go over to my smart object box right here, double click. It's going to pull up a brand new file. All we need to do is hit the T hotkey to bring up our type. We're going to drag this box over where we want the font to go, and then simply type in what we want to type in. Once you get that positioned where you want it, go ahead and click out of this file. It's going to ask you if you want to save, hit yes. And as you can see, what it did is not only put the words on top of the image, but it also put it at the same perspective that we put our smart object. And it's that simple. Those are 3 quick and easy tips on how you can use smart objects in creating a non-destructive workflow. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please consider giving us a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. And until next time, create more, say less, and stay creative.